Hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you're perking good. So, election 2024, presidential election 2024 here in the United States. Highly requested update video here. I say update because I have already filmed an election video back in September. I'll tell you the exact date. Give me a second here. It was on September 11th is when I uploaded that here on YouTube. And after that, there was a lot of things that we looked at in that video. I have them written down here, all the things that we looked at. We looked at, will there even be an election? Because there were a lot of people thinking that for whatever reason there wasn't going to be an election this year, that a lot of, I guess, psychics out there had said there wasn't going to be an election this year. So we were going to look into that. Spoiler alert, it said that there would be an election this year. So I don't know, I got a different result than quote unquote most of the psychics out there. I don't know. And so we also asked, will there be any issues with the elections? Were there going to be any issues with the candidates? Any issues with the integrity of the elections? Whether it was, with the process or with the outcome and results, whether it was domestic or abroad, all of those kinds of things. Looked into that type of stuff. Also looked into the main question that a lot of people have on their minds: who the hell's gonna win? And it was a wild video with a lot of different stuff coming up, and especially as we got to that last question about who would win, things got a little bit weird. Like, usually when I ask these questions and we start looking into it here on the channel, we get information. Usually we get some sort of responses, some kind of insights, context, clarity around it. And I remember having to ask that question in 3 different ways, 3 different times, just to get a little bit of a leaning one way or the other. And that's unusual here for the channel. So I got something, but I was like, I can't really hang my hat on that, because that was different than usual. That was more like pulling teeth than usual. And so, I don't know here. So I made a poll on the community tab here on the channel. And I wrote in that poll, given how my 2024 elections predictions video went, especially on that last question about who will win, do you want to have an update video as we get closer and closer to election day in November? And the 2 choices, of course, were like, no flip-flopping. Flip-flopping energy is muddy. Why try to force an answer? No, I don't want another update video. And then the other one is like, yeah, what if it gets clearer? What if the answer gets clearer and clearer closer to time? What if more people are, making up their decision and more energy is piling in to a particular outcome one way or the other because of what we're all thinking, and we're all kind of coming up with our own decision. And I believe early voting is open in some states, maybe most states by now. So yeah. Let's risk it. Let's try. Let's do another update video. So the voting came in at 18% of people saying, no, we don't want to do this. Flip-flop energy is muddy. Don't try to force an answer. But 82% of people said, yeah, what if it gets clearer, closer to time? Let's risk it. So, 82 obviously is the majority, 82%. So here we are doing an update video for the 2024 presidential elections to just see if we can get any more clarity with that question about who will win. No promises. I literally have no idea what's about to happen as I look into this. And I don't have, high guarantees out there that we're going to get something that is clear as day. It might be clear as mud, but I'm here to try to honestly dig into it, to give it some effort, to give it my all, and see what we can find here. So whatever comes up as we're about to look into that question, I'm going to roll with it and put a video out there because that was my promise to y'all. So we're going to look into that. And people were also curious, so I wrote that down here as well, to ask if there's going to be another January 6th type event as well. There's a lot of people worried about that. And so I have that written down as a second kind of question that we want to take a look at today. So anyway, we're going to dive right on into those two things, and stay till the end because today will also be a giveaway video where at the end of this I'm going to announce how to enter to win a free private tarot reading with me, and we're going to choose 3 winners. So stay tuned till the end if you want to enter a giveaway to get a free private reading from me. So anyway, let's go get right on into this. I am a licensed mental health clinician as well as spiritual intuitive, and in these videos we take a look at the tea with the tarot. Got a good track record on this channel, so let's dive right on in. I'm moving this over, this microphone right here. Old Penelope hanging out with us as we're gonna try to dig into here and just see what we can figure out. And as always, this is all alleged, just my interpretation. Okay, so let's see. Let's do what will hopefully both of these questions are fairly quick. So let's dive into the one where people are worried about some sort of January 6th type event. And the reason why I'm going to ask this first is because there are people out there, a lot of people actually, if you see my DMs and my emails and stuff, that are worried that no matter who wins or what happens on election day, they're worried that there could be some sort of January 6th type of event. So we're going to take a look into that real quick on the likelihood of something like that happening, regardless of who is, declared the winner here. Just seeing, is that something that could be brewing here? So let's see what we've got here. Okay. So, while these are not the nicest types of cards to see, they're not super positive and joyful types of cards, they're also not, to me, indicative of some big problem like a January 6th type of event. What I'm seeing here, I do see people that after whatever happens with the election, I do see some people feeling like they have been left out, that they are overlooked, that they feel like their voice isn't heard. They feel like they're locked out of the democratic process. They feel like they're shunned, ostracized, nobody cares, just lots of those negative feelings. And they're also hurt still about things that have happened in the past. So this is like adding insult on top of injury here. But with our High Priestess in reverse and our Strength card upright, this is we may not know exactly how we're feeling about this. We may have, a lot of different emotions about it. We're going to try to tap into our inner strength because of these 2 cards here. They know that with this 7 of Cups upright, this is you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what you're going to get here. And it might not be smart to just jump on the first thing that you feel like doing. This here feels like people who, for lack of a better way of putting it, they've seen what happens to people when people try to speak up and out in a really contentious way, in a way that can put themselves at risk. You know, they've seen people go to jail or prison over these types of things. They've seen people get, you know, pew-pewed over, I gotta say that instead of the actual words because I don't want YouTube to take my video down. They've seen people have that happen over these things. They've seen people become, you know, victims of police brutality or of a lying system trying to protect itself or things like that. So it looks like people are not wanting to go down that road, not wanting to lose their lives or their careers or their reputations over certain things. So I'm seeing people feel feelings, but it's a lot of internal stuff going on here. It's a little bit less on the external in terms of a January 6th type of way. It's more of an internal thing that I'm seeing here. So I'm not really seeing that J6 type of energy coming out here. I also see this sense here of like, well, yeah, right now there's some weird emotions, not sure how to feel, but there are some silver linings. So it looks like, you know, people will cling to some kind of a silver lining, some kind of whatever they think of is hope for people that feel disaffected by whatever is about to come to pass. And again, this is more of an internal type of process in terms of thinking of what do I want, what do I hope for, you know, what do we rely on? This is a lot more internal. So yeah, I'm just not seeing this sense of like trying to, you know, as people have various opinions of what happened on January 6th. People have various opinions on whether we call it an insurrection, whether we don't, you know, all that kind of stuff. What I'm seeing here is I am not seeing this sense of people that want to, you know, take it upon themselves to march in and stop formal proceedings from happening or whatever. Like, I don't see them putting themselves in that kind of a position. I see them being like, not me. I know it, you know, I'm not going to go through that and put myself through that kind of thing. So I'm seeing a lot more internal stuff. We know internal stuff does eventually come out though. You know, if people are really sad or really angry or really any kind of quote unquote negative emotion and they don't have some sort of an outlet or a release for it, we know that that can sometimes build and turn into something. So just gonna ask, even if we're not seeing a J6 type of repeat, do we still see some type of up and out for all of this internal stuff that keeps coming up here? Do we see that at some point, you know, whether it's at the end of this year after the elections or at the beginning of next year after like inauguration or things like that, do we see some kind of like up and out with these types of emotions coming through? So yeah, most likely we are going to see that. But again, in these two kind of reversed ways of I got to be careful with my messaging and another type of quote unquote breakup card. It's interesting because we got our Lovers card in reverse and now we've got our Two of Cups card in reverse. So there is a breakup energy. Like, yeah, this stuff is coming up and out, even if it's this kind of internal thing, but I'm doing it a different way. It feels like breaking up, which is weird because that could come up a lot of different ways. That can be people doing the whole, that's not my president type of thing. It could be, break up as in the whole other side of the pendulum. So not my president is kind of like a small, subtle, I'm taking a stance and saying, I don't resonate with this person who was selected. But then if you go to an extreme end of that, you can be like, oh, break up? Yeah, I want to secede from this stupid country because I don't want that. You know, that's like an extreme version. I don't know if we're going to see that. That's extreme. But like literally anything in that gamut that has this kind of quote unquote breakup energy, this, you know, cutting ties, wanting to move away from this, wanting to wash your hands of this, wanting to find ways to let go, get out of this, that kind of a thing. I do see some kind of up and out. I just don't see it being an up and out of emotions in a J6 type of way. I'm not really seeing that. So there's something brewing, but it's different. It's different. So not a repeat of last go round, but definitely something different. And still with a negative vibe. And I don't mean negative vibe as in, bad people. I mean negative vibe as in people feeling some type of way because of something. Like they're not just feeling some type of way out of nowhere kind of thing. So I'm going to pull these up, reshuffle, and see if we can go ahead and get into this next question here. The question of who will win the 2024 U.S. presidential election. So like I said, last time I went and I asked this question 3 different times in 3 different ways to get a smidge of something that could be an answer. And I said what I saw with that. But I'm not used to having to ask multiple times to get an answer. I'm not used to getting blocked on things. It does happen, you're not allowed to know everything. You get blocked on some things. I was just curious about getting blocked. And it didn't seem necessarily, to me, it didn't seem like we weren't supposed to know, although that might have been it. It just seemed more like the answer was not yet chosen by the collective. So it seemed more like there were too many people that had not yet made up their minds for us to really get a grasp on what was going on. And that's why I was thinking, well, maybe if we wait till later, aka now, that maybe more people will have made up their minds, so maybe it'll get clearer. And since we're talking about waiting until now, at the time of filming this, it is 1:08 on Monday, October 28th. So I'm filming this at 1:08 Monday, October 28th, just in case that becomes relevant for anything that we're taking a look at here today. I almost forgot to show that. Lord help me. We know we need to have that up in here, right? So, okay. All right, spirit guides, angels, archangels, light beings surrounding me now, spirit of Gaia and my higher self. Please assist us in the sacred co-created process of pulling cards for the highest good of all sentient kind. And please allow us to get whatever we are allowed to know at this time, in whatever way that we are allowed to know it. And if I don't understand, I will seek clarification. And if we continue to get dead ends, I will honor that as some kind of a boundary that I won't try to cross, try to be ethical with this. So, all right. Thank you. Putting that out there again. I always do an opening, but I put it out there again just because. So, let's see. Let's do 3 cards here on President Trump, 3 cards here on President Kamala, just kind of giving it here to see if we're going to see a President Trump, if we're going to see a President Kamala, kind of giving 3 cards here and 3 cards here on each of them. So the 3 cards here for Trump. See, what the fuck? Whatever. 3 cards here for Kamala. Ooh, 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 ooh. One at a time, one at a time. All of these are trying to flip over, but there's way too many that are flipping over, so I'm not going to take those. But then, boop. All right. So, this is why we're getting weird information. And y'all who've been a part of my channel forever, y'all know the cards usually come out and say things. Like I usually get the inclinations one way or the other usually come out and say things, and I will continue to draw cards. Like I said, I will continue to draw. But what's interesting, for the Trump row, you get this like my hands are tied kind of a card, which is not a really good card here for looking at a win. It is not. But then you see a card about choices to be made, decisions to be made, and then you see a card here with the Page of Pentacles upright, which very much is like, this is able to go through the way, I need. This is success. This is building it up kind of thing. So why in the world, here's a success card that would look like him winning. Here's a card that would look like him losing, and a decision card in between. Do y'all see what I'm getting at here for these kind of confusions? I'm not going to be the type of reader that just sees this and feels pressured to tell you an answer one way or another. And again, I'm going to pull more in a second to get more clarity, but just for right now, I'm not the type to just see it and be like, oh crap, but I got to get an answer, so I'm just going to say something or whatever. No, that's not honest and that's not ethical. I'm not going to do that. I'm also not going to be like, oh, well, who I want to win is this, so I'm going to read it as this way because of who I want to win. No. Also not ethical. Also not something that I like to do here because it's not honest. I try to be as honest and ethical as I possibly can. I try to read these things as neutral as I can. Nobody can come here and read completely without bias, but they can try for neutrality. And as I've mentioned before, I am neither a Republican nor a Democrat. I am an independent, and so I don't particularly like Trump or Kamala. I kind of wish those weren't our two choices here, our two primary choices. Of course, there are third-party choices that are very unlikely to win. So, I'm not a fan of either of them. So I'm not really reading this hoping either one of these performs better here, because I'm not particularly satisfied with either of them, even if I can try to give respect to both of them. Down here with Kamala's, this is her in a reverse position, and also the Empress card kind of coming up in reverse, talking about the system behind her, the quote-unquote machine behind her that has come up in many, many, many readings we've had about her here lately for whatever reason. But coming up in reverse, this would not look good for her. This one would be the kind of like this decision point card. This is like, well, this is what I want, but this is what's being offered. I'm crossing my arms about it, but I'll take it kind of thing. It's very similar to that. This is like a, here you go, I'm handing it to you, which is similar to that. So it's like, these are similar, these are similar, these are similar. So this is why this is hard for readers to do. And there are some readers out there that feel so confident it's going to be one way or the other because either, and this is just me, again, maybe I'm wrong, but either because they really want a certain one to win, so they're seeing it that way in the cards, or they are just feeling pressured to say a name for you, so they just up and say a name for you. And I feel like that's why there are certain readers that feel like, yeah, I can give a result for you. I haven't watched any other readers' stuff here, but I'm getting this from what y'all have said in your emails and your comments to me and stuff like that. So in this first pool, this is literally the coin toss, the neck and neck, it could go either way type of vibe. It still is literally coming up like that. And so I'm gonna dig in again. This is I've thought about this. I've thought about since last time when we asked the 3 different ways and we got the 3 different types of answers. I was thinking, if I ask again and it comes out kind of wishy-washy again, what other ways can I ask this that are different from how I asked it before that maybe could get at what we're seeing here? So what I'm going to ask, I'm just going to straight up say, for them to give us some insight as to why we're getting this kind of stalemate type of energy here. Why are we getting that in the last reading and in this pool here, to see if there's something about that, the answer that we get to that can help this confusion make more sense. So I want to look at that, and then I'm gonna, based on that, I might ask again for kind of who might win, but I'm just trying to get more context. Got a t-shirt that says context on my merch. That's why I say that. My merch is on my website. Not that anybody cares or wants it, but I just said it right here. And so in case anybody was going to ask. But yeah, so, all right, spirit guides. Why are we getting the wishy-washy type of thing, the confusing thing, where it's literally showing this kind of coin toss, neck and neck, stuff like that, beyond just maybe, you know, people not making up their minds? Because, I mean, here it is at the time of filming this, like probably a week or like 8 days or something from the actual election. So what's this about? Giving us some insights here. Okay. Okay. So, what they're showing here is a lot. So, first of all, they give one little nod here about how, yes, truly, about some people trying to figure out how to make up their mind, even if there are so many people who are like already sure what they're going to do, that there really are truly some people that have not figured this out. I would think that by 8 days out, everyone would figure out what they're going to do, whether they're going to vote for Trump, Kamala, or a third party. And this is for real. Some people being like, I really might have to think about it while I'm there at the booth and just pick, because I'm really wrestling with myself over this one. So there is a nod to that. Even if I said to ask beyond that, which they did give me, this is a nod to that. But yeah, beyond that, the reason why we're also seeing some confusion here is because it looks like there literally will be some sort of confusion. The moon card here coming up right is a deeper energy, a darker energy, a like twist of the night type energy, whether that means something, you know, some twist happens the night of election night before the next morning, or whether that means there's something that's kind of held down or suppressed, whether that is, you know, voting counts being confusing, or you know, challenged, or things like that. There's just something here that feels weird behind the scenes with this, and feels like there will be people that are like, hey, but wait, I'm confused. So regardless of what comes out, even if it were to come out looking like one of them won quite a bit more than the other, that still there would be something that's like, wait a second though, you know. So there's something here with that is coming up, and it's muddying the energy here. There's also this sense of kind of watching and waiting that comes around like election day and thereafter, some watching and waiting. I don't know if this means waiting for more results to come in, and that's taking a little bit of time that's making things confusing, but it could be. This walking away card is weird because and I want to say this walking away card came up in the last election reading, actually, at the end when we were asking those 3 questions. So I want to say that came up then as well. And I was like, walking away. And it was somewhere near in the other reading. like a card that was kind of like a Trump card, whether it was a King of Wands or Emperor or something like that usually comes up for him. And so I was like, that's weird. So I don't know why there would be some kind of a way that either Trump would feel the need to distance himself or walk away or be disengaged with some part of the process, or God forbid something happening to him, hopefully not that, but there was something like that in the last reading, and now there's that kind of a vibe coming up here again. So again, something that could be weird about the candidates themselves. So like literally it feels like there's just multiple kinds of things that are gonna be happening before and after the election that makes it wonky, that makes it different, that makes the process of the election, and even waiting, until we get to kind of, getting towards inauguration, and then that is the day that, the president is now officially becoming the 47th president, whoever it is that gets elected, that's the official day. Like there's something here that is weird with this. And there's something, again, this card came up earlier in Kamala's, and this card came up earlier in Trump's. So literally we've got repeat cards from each of theirs coming up again in this like blurry type of thing. So it could be blurry also if, like, say one of them won the popular vote but one of them won the electoral college or something. I don't know. That could make people feel like, oh, well, no wonder the results are coming up blurry, because it literally, people can fight about that and consider that blurry. And that has happened, multiple times throughout the U.S. history and stuff like that. I want to say that even happened maybe in 2016 with Trump before. I want to say that happened where I believe Hillary Clinton got the popular vote, but he won the electoral college and was able to get in. So that's why this stuff is squirrely for so many multiple reasons. And it seems like it's more than just what's happening before, that it is the things that are happening beyond here that are making this hard to determine, and hard to share. So I am going to ask, like I said, one more time, and I'm not going to try to squeeze out of the cards what we're not allowed to squeeze out of the cards, but now that we have some insights around this, I do just want to ask again if we are allowed to know, spirit guides, about who is slated to win the 2024 United States presidential election. So we did 3 asks on the last video. Let's do 3 asks again and just see what they come up with. And this time, instead of doing a particular like Trump and Kamala row for each, can't speak, I'm just gonna lay out my 6 and see what happens with that. So just wanting to get an idea there, spirit guides, of who will win the 2024 United States presidential election. Alrighty. Oop. Got a card that dropped. Alright, upright or reverse on this card that dropped. Okay. I'm trying not to be irritated because there's a cord on the floor now. I'm trying not to be irritated because I know that asking this question, it's not all about me getting an answer. I am not entitled to answers from spirit and, whatever. But I'm allowed to get frustrated if I feel like we can't have a straightforward answer. And I see why. They did explain why. But again, for this is what people are wanting. This happily ever after. But here we have this kind of self-sabotage and painful endings. Again, some kind of walking away, having to remove some oneself type of thing. The Temperance card in reverse. The timing isn't right. The balance isn't right. This isn't right. Hurrying in, trying to start something new. There is something weird going on here that is... It's confusing, it's frustrating, and I just keep reading the cards, so I'll just keep reading. Let's just keep reading. Same, we're just going to keep going with the flow here about this question, about who will win. So again, lack of communicating things effectively. Now we get a female card in reverse and a male card upright. It's interesting. This used to come up as our President Joe Biden card. We know he is no longer in the running, to be president. He's no longer in the running, but we see his card coming up here, and we see a card with a female on it, which I would be presuming to be referencing Kamala, coming up in reverse. God forbid, I hope that there's nothing that's going to happen in their dynamic, between Biden and Kamala that comes up somewhere between election day and inauguration day that makes things a little bit weird or different. But maybe there could be, God forbid, something were to happen to either one of them and it complicates a process some kind of a way. I'm not sure. There seems to be some kind of a complicating process. Is this saying that there's a complicating process because there's somebody that seems to be chosen to win, but then something different or strange happens between now and inauguration day? Is that why this is being weird? Like, again, I'm trying to account for this. Is it a popular vote versus electoral vote thing? Or is it a election day versus inauguration day thing? Like, what? What? Like, I feel like I'm asking Bodhi whenever he's whining, and I'm like, you've already had your water. You've already had your toys. You've already had your food. You have your family here with you. We've given you a blankie. What is it? What do you need? What? Like, that's what I feel like I'm doing here. And I need to not do that because it's just going to affect my vibration. I'm going to lose my channel. So again, I need to keep vibrating higher and higher to stay in channel. Don't let myself get too frustrated. It's going to affect things. That's another hard part about reading on something that you do have a stake in if you're living here in the United States, and there is a stake in it. So again, with these weird decisions, but again, with this kind of system card coming in reverse. So here's what I will say. In the last reading, the other election 2024 reading back in September, on September 11th, at the end, when we finally got on that third question, I was like, is there anybody that has even the smidge of an edge right now? And I got cards that again look like some kind of a moving away, walking away, distancing, something like that, with a Trump card and this 8 of Cups card. And so since I saw that, I was like, I guess I take that to mean there's a slight edge to Kamala. Even if I didn't see a female card there, I took the kind of pushing away energy of that to mean that maybe there's a slight edge to Kamala. Now that we've gotten this kind of system card that has come up for her twice in a reverse position, and we've got a Queen of Wands card in a reverse position, now there's these kind of, I guess, 2 on this, 1 on this, 3 instances here amid all of this kind of weird flip-floppy challenging energy that have come up to her detriment here. So 3 things hinting towards her detriment that could be counting against her, which again, we could possibly conclude counts for Trump. But do you see what the issue is here for this? And I'm just being open and honest in everything I'm reading. I know there's going to be people that are very pissed off about this reading. I'm going to get 1,000,000 thumbs down on the reading, you know, so if you want to give it a thumbs up to try to, you know, account for that and try to help out, thank you. You don't have to, but if you want to, thanks. But even if there's going to be people that are like, this is bullshit, you know, and thumbs down it, I'm just trying to be as clear, transparent, open, honest with y'all as possible. I am telling you what these cards are meaning in the way that they're coming up. I'm comparing and contrasting the first reading with this update reading. I'm telling you what we're seeing that could count for this versus could count for that. If I had things that were more clear like I usually do, I would give it to you with that. But it's coming up this way, so all I can do is describe how it's coming up and why it may be coming up this way and look into those things together. And so, you know, I'm just trying to be transparent with you. And this other thing is what I'm saying I want to be transparent about, is that it's interesting that in both the last reading and this, choosing a quote-unquote winner has to do with looking at cards that are kind of down for somebody else. So rather than up for a winner. So again, in the last one, having a Trump card kind of down and that distancing, you know, walking away or putting some kind of estrangement there or whatever, that was the only inclination that maybe it was positive for Kamala, was it was showing something that was somewhat negative for him. And here, the only way we're able to say that there could be a positive for Trump is seeing these things that come up that are negative potentially for Kamala. So why in both readings would they be showing some kind of a negative for a candidate rather than showing this is a candidate that's coming out on top? Look at all these good things for this candidate. Look at all these great ways that suggests a win and a presidency for this candidate. Why are they not saying that in either of these readings? That's what I want to know. You know, that I feel like is interesting. That we're getting little things against rather than something for. And that's another reason that I attribute there to be some confusion here. Because instead of being like, here's an Empress upright and a Queen of Wands upright. Wow, we have two upright female cards. The feminine energy is strong in this one. Wow, Kamala wins. You know, we're not getting that in either of these readings. We just get well, I guess it shows favor towards this person because we see a little bit of towards this other person. That is weird. That is not usual for our tarot readings here. Make of that what you will. That there's less of an idea of we have a solid winner, a solid new idea for a new president, and we have more inclination of who is struggling. I think something weird, based on all this, is either going to happen around election day or before somebody is inaugurated as president. Because this is strange to keep seeing this wishy-washy stuff. And sure, seeing this wishy-washy stuff, it could mean that I suck just terribly bad. I'm just a bad tarot reader and I suck. But the fact that I have 4 years of really good track record on this channel, proven by video, where you can literally look by video at things that I've said would be becoming true time and time and time and time and time again, then I'm not so inclined to say that I'm bad at this. I've got a really good proven track record here. I could be bad at this one reading. Maybe that's a thing. But what I would more attribute this to is because of all the things that we've seen here, that is why this is fuzzy. And I think that between election day results and inauguration, who the sitting president will be officially declared to be, that there's some kind of weirdness here that's making this blurry. Because again, it could be blurry because, oh, electoral college versus popular vote, or it could be blurry of who wins the election versus who gets inaugurated, or it could be blurry because of contested results. Like there is a lack of clarity here that has come up in both readings that cannot be ignored and cannot be glossed over just for the sake of somebody picking a winner. So anything else y'all want to say about the elections and the president, how about that? Is there anything, spirit guides, that y'all want to say before we close about the next president of the United States? The official 47th president of the United States. And let me pull these up so I can have all these cards in the deck when I go to pull that. That's how I'll ask the last question. That way I'm not pushing to ask about the winner of the elections. That way, instead, I'm rewording the question to say, can you tell us any insights, any information about the 47th president, the next president of the United States, the person who in 2025 will be known to be our United States sitting president? Any information you can tell us about that person? That will be our last way of looking at this. Let me move all these over a bit. Come on. So, you know what you notice here? I'm serious. We're doing this all together. Guess what you notice here? Do you notice a card like any kings or any queens to identify, like, you know, a Trump or Kamala gender? You're not noticing that here, are you? I wonder why that is. I'm getting testy with the damn video here. So, what I am seeing here, since I'm not seeing that, what I am seeing here, shifty, manipulative energy. I don't like that. I'll be honest. I don't like to see that. Regardless of whoever it affects, whether this would inappropriately affect Kamala or Trump. I don't like seeing that. Shifty manipulation. Oh, but then here's some sort of abundance and all is well, and here's the judgment call. It's going to be issued out, ringing out for all to hear. Gotta walk away, gotta try to move on, gotta try to start new. This is going to be a weird time for people. People are not going to just up and take to this. This is going to be, people are going to be able to sniff this out. Emotions running hot, trying to start absolute new beginnings. Hierophant card in reverse. So again, institutions kind of crumbling under this pressure that is going to be created here. Something about the people having a lack of commitment to what is chosen and what is presented as new. We're going to have a lack of buy-in around this process and around who is the sitting president in 2025. There's going to not be, people are going to feel not clear or okay about this. They're going to be like, you know, what just happened? People are going to be split on this. And I mean, I don't mean split as in regular split. Like, this feels uncomfortable. Like, you know, when we've been talking about polarity for years now, with this kind of really stretching the rubber band, this is feeling like we're getting to stretch endpoints. Like, I don't want to, you know, use some really severe language about it, but, you know, like this faction versus that faction kind of feeling coming out of this. Here, Hermit card, again, things just being buried under, things not being talked about and disseminated out, relative to the Emperor card, which comes up for Trump. There's something really weird between election day and throughout, inauguration period, even after that, relative to Trump. Something's weird. There are going to be unanswered questions that people are like, I don't understand this, and I'm not buying this. I'm questioning this. What is this shifty shit going on right here? What are we being asked to believe? I'm having a lack of commitment here to this, and I'm starting to see things fall apart, not only in our society, but in our government relative to this. And all of these things revolve around Trump here. What is gonna go on with you, Trump, that causes so much, so maybe also, what if remember in the first question when I was asking about J6, and I was like, it looks like there's some weird energy around that gives some, some, I guess, impassioned J6 vibes, but not like it was last time, not about that kind of a thing, not like, storming the Capitol to interrupt results or whatever. There's something else. Maybe it's around this. Maybe whatever comes up is around whatever this is. Y'all. Wow. And our Empress card again, coming up in reverse. Wow. Trump coming up as the Emperor. Kamala coming up as the Empress because it has come up as her machine behind her before. Now coming up again in a reverse position. His card here coming up in an upright position. But these are two people, both sides of a different coin. Emperor, Empress. In the tarot, they are matched. In the tarot, they are married. His coming up upright, hers coming up in reverse. Shifty, 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 shifty. Y'all weird. The 2024 elections are about more than the 2024 elections. That's why it's been getting weird in both of these videos for us, and in whoever else's videos out there where they've been getting weirdness. This is why it's been getting weird, because it's reading beyond the election results into who the sitting president will be and what the hell's going on. It's going to be a shitstorm. I'm just telling you. We will follow this. We will follow this. So, all right. Let's talk about giveaways and things like that so that we can start to move out of some of this chaotic, crazy energy, get into something that's a little bit more lighthearted to end it with for today. So before I talk about the giveaway, here, this might be helpful. I'm going to plug in, there was a Perk Squad extended message, channeled message that helped some members, and they said, hey, we could share this with everybody. So I guess I'll put that in here. And let's share that with everybody. This was a channeled message for around this time that we all needed to hear. Maybe this will be helpful for you here. All, we join you here to provide a second message. This message is simple. There will always be reason to hope. All things that exist are a part of the whole, and there cannot be darkness without also having the light. There cannot be bad without also having the good. There cannot be pain without also having joy. There cannot be suffering without also having peace. As you see signs of these negative things every single day, know that they cannot exist without their opposites also existing. The light is there. You merely need to acknowledge it, attune to the vibration of it, and tune into the experience of it. It is available to you always, just as we are available to you always. These states of being are never outside of your reach, just as we are never outside of your reach. The light is with you. We are with you, and we love you, your spirit guides. Okay, I hope that was helpful for you. Thank you to all the Perk Squad members who are part of the Perk Squad and who allow us to share some messages from time to time, things like that. Also, as a Perk Squad video shout out that I like to do in all the videos, shout out to you, Shade Cat, and thank you for being a member of the Perk Squad. Shout out to you, Shade Cat. If you'd like to be a member of the Perk Squad, anybody, just click on the join button down below or the link in the description box and you can become a member of the Perk Squad here on the channel. And we also, in the live streams, we gift free channel memberships for 1 month every single live stream. So the second Friday of every month and the fourth Tuesday of every month, we go live together and we gift free 1 month memberships to new channel members. So that's something there for if anybody's interested. And speaking of free and giveaways, we have a giveaway here today, and this giveaway is really special because this giveaway is provided by someone who would like to just be called L here, you know, for anonymity. So L has sent a donation that basically will enable us to choose some giveaway winners starting now throughout the holiday season this year, and giveaway winners to win free private tarot readings with me. She has had several private tarot readings with me, and she said that she felt like she was in a place where she could pay it forward to other people, and she wanted to do that. And so we worked out a way where she could donate for others to be able to have their sessions, kind of like when you're in a drive-through and you pay for the person behind you kind of thing. So she wanted to do that to pay it forward. So today we're going to open a giveaway, and to enter the giveaway to win a free 15-minute private reading with me, all you have to do is type in win in the comments below. Just type in win. Don't get fancy with it or anything like that, because the random selector that I will use that kind of randomly chooses winners whenever we're going to choose who wins, it will literally search the comments for the word win, and it will pick people who wrote win in their comment. So if you wrote the word win, not like winning or winner, no, just the word win, if you write it in your comment, then the little, I don't know, the computer, the machine, the little thing that picks out winners will be able to see and scan that you wrote the word win in your comment, and it will make you eligible to win the free 15-minute private tarot reading from me. So just type that in the comments, write the word win, and I will be announcing the 3 winners on our next video. So tune into the next video to see if you happen to be one of the winners chosen. I usually show a little video of the little generator, you know, spinning around and choosing the winner, so you can see that it selects it at random. And I will announce the 3 winners on the next video and tell y'all how to redeem your prize. So thank you to Elle for allowing this pay it forward thing to happen, not only today but a couple times throughout the holiday season here. Thank you. That was very kind of you to pay it forward. We really appreciate that here on the channel. I'm sure channel members do as well. So thank you, percolators. Thank you, everybody here. And I will put a B-roll here at the end of the video to help lift the spirits even more. So stay tuned for the little B-roll puppy shenanigans to help bring a smile on your face. And I will check it out here on the next one. So don't be a stranger, come back and see me, and I will Talk at you later. Bye, love you, Bye, love you, Bye, y'all.
Trying to make a big wheel of cheese. It goes with the stinky herring. Do me a favor, just put a little sprinkling for we have there. You look bad, but like the spots look bad. You perfectly round.
I swear. Oh man.
You were falling asleep and you heard
fireworks,
and you got up and
yeah. I mean, he's not scared. He's just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Oh man, funny. This one was scared, but he is medicated now, and so he is fine.